Israel and Iran are escalating their attacks in the Middle East. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Wednesday, March 4th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. It is another violent day across the Middle East. This morning, Israel said it was bombarding more targets in Tehran and Beirut following its announcement it would send ground troops deeper into Lebanese territory. Iran also launched a fresh barrage of retaliatory strikes that hit Persian Gulf states. Yesterday, the U.S. closed its embassies in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, and a suspected drone strike caused a small fire in a parking lot at the U.S. consulate in Dubai. The State Department is working to facilitate charter flights for American citizens stranded in the United Arab Emirates, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia. In the Oval Office yesterday, a reporter asked President Donald Trump why there wasn't an evacuation plan for thousands of Americans in the region before the war began. Trump replied, "It happened all very quickly." Meanwhile, the death toll is mounting, and now includes 6 U.S. service members killed in a drone attack in Kuwait. The Pentagon confirmed the names of 4 of them yesterday. And in the southern Iranian city of Minab yesterday, thousands of people gathered in the streets to mourn the victims of an airstrike on an elementary school. Iran reported that more than 150 people, including many children, were killed in that attack on Saturday. A U.S. official said the military was looking into reports of civilian harm. President Trump said the war may have an economic toll for Americans. That's number 2. The conflict in Iran is the largest U.S. military action since the invasion of Iraq in 2003. It is pushing oil prices higher and weighing down the stock market as midterm elections loom later this year. Yesterday, Trump conceded that Americans might feel an economic impact. Here he is in the Oval Office downplaying those concerns.
I'll tell you what, I have never had more compliments on something I did. People felt it's something that had to be done. So if we have a little high oil prices for a little while, but as soon as this ends, those prices are going to drop, I believe, lower than even before.
Prices for crude oil and gasoline have jumped in the last 2 days. The price of a gallon of regular gas increased to $3.11 on average across the nation, according to AAA. That's the highest since mid-October. Those rising prices marked a shift from the last several months, when declining energy prices helped moderate inflation. Number 3. Results are coming in from the first primaries of the midterm elections. Yesterday, voters went to the polls in Arkansas, North Carolina, and Texas. The most closely watched races were in Texas, where contentious Republican and Democratic primaries started to set the tone for November. Texas State Representative James Tallarico won a primary to become the state's Democratic nominee for U.S. Senate. He defeated Representative Jasmine Crockett, who has become a viral antagonist to President Trump. Here is Tallarico speaking before the race was called.
Tonight, the people of our state gave this country a little bit of hope. And a little bit of hope is a dangerous thing. I want to thank y'all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being in this fight. God bless y'all. Thank you.
Tallarico's Republican opponent is still uncertain. The Republican primary between incumbent Senator John Cornyn and the state's firebrand Attorney General Ken Paxton is headed for a runoff. So this heated and intensely personal primary contest won't be over till May 26th. You can find all the key results and takeaways from yesterday's contests in our newsletter today. Just follow the link to that in our show notes. Number 4.
In the Superior Court of Bexar County, State of Georgia versus Colin Gray, case number 24-CR-593-P, jury verdict. Count 1, murder in the second degree. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty. Count 2.
The father of an accused Georgia school shooter has been found guilty of murder. Colt Gray is a teenager accused of killing 4 people at a Georgia high school in 2024. Yesterday, his father was convicted of murder in connection with that shooting. The elder Colin Gray was found guilty on 29 counts, including 2 counts of second-degree murder. He faces a maximum of 180 years in prison. Prosecutors argued that Colin Gray should be held responsible because he failed to secure his son's gun, and because he ignored red flags about the teen's deteriorating mental health amid a turbulent home life. This is a landmark victory for prosecutors. The case was a first-in-the-nation effort to bring murder charges against the parent of an alleged school shooter. Sentencing for Colin Gray has not yet been scheduled. His son Colt, who faces 4 counts of felony murder and other charges, is still awaiting trial. The U.S. had a brutal flu season, while COVID made a smaller impact. That's our 5th story. For the second winter in a row, flu surged, causing more infections and hospitalizations than COVID. That's according to CDC data. The flu surge has been fueled in part by unusual mutations, which the annual flu shot offered less protection against. On the other hand, COVID has mutated less in the last 2 years, so people's immunity from infection or vaccines has kept up better. But it's too soon to say whether flu will continue to dominate the winter. Slipping vaccination rates could weaken protection against both diseases. And unlike flu, which is primarily a respiratory illness, COVID can affect multiple organ systems, including the heart, brain, and gastrointestinal system. So, flu's dominant threat in hospitalizations doesn't tell the whole story of COVID's ability to do long-term damage. Number 6. In much of the U.S., it's suddenly going to feel like spring or summer. We made it. After a long, harsh winter for Easterners, temperatures are forecast to surge into the 70s, 80s, and even 90s later this week into next. More than 500 temperature records are forecast to be neared, tied, or broken across parts of 40 states. And at least 90 million people can expect temperatures in the 80s at some point during this stretch. But winter hasn't finished with us yet. The polar vortex could send frigid air back into the U.S. by the end of next week, along with the potential for more snow and ice. So make sure you soak up as much vitamin D as you can while the good times last. And at number 7, if you're an overthinker, there are steps you can take to give your brain a break. If you have one of those pesky inner voices that just won't shut up, you may know how exhausting overthinking can be. Worrying about the future or overanalyzing the past can take a big mental toll, activating stress and leaving you wiped out. So we looked for expert advice to help you tame the brain. The first step experts recommend, which almost sounds a little overthinky in itself, is to notice when and how you are overthinking in the first place. Once you've done that, you can fight back. Psychologist Ethan Kross recommends mental time travel. That's asking yourself how you'll feel about a situation in a week, a month, or a year. Maybe then it won't be so bad. He also recommends making distance from yourself by addressing yourself in the second person. Or you can change your environment to take back some mental control. For even more helpful advice on taming your brain, head over to today's newsletter. All right, you're all caught up. Before you go, don't overthink it. Let your thumbs navigate you to the review section wherever you are listening to The 7 and leave us a nice rating. We always appreciate it. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.